Designing a dream home is something most of us wish we had the money and time to do. For those who are able to make it happen, the only limitation is their imagination. In China, a professor named Zhang Lin decided to build his own home, but not all of the locals were thrilled about what he dreamed up. The eccentric professor who heads a local medicine company spent 6 years building his dream home, which resembles a mountain of rock atop a skyscraper in Beijing, China. He had to move tons of rubble and debris to complete the project. The structure was so big that massive steel support beams were installed to support the weight of the boulders. These beams gave the building a rather unappealing look, but Lin was adamant about making his dream come true. The finished product was, well, something else. Lin wanted the 8,600 square foot villa to appear as if it was carved out of a mountainside. The home even came complete with a Rocky Mountain garden and decorative boulders, but his downstairs neighbors weren't as keen on the project as he was. The sheer size and weight of the penthouse caused all sorts of problems for the people who lived in the apartments below. Apparently, residents complained for years about cracks in their walls due to the weight, but the professor ignored them. The construction of the penthouse itself was incredibly noisy too, and residents near the top floors weren't able to sleep because Lin and the construction team worked all hours of the night. He didn't care who he bothered, he wanted his dream home finished. Another problem the house caused was severe flooding for certain tenants. Lin reportedly broke several water drainage pipes during the construction, and every time it rained, the water leaked into the apartments below. Lin also liked throwing parties, which annoyed his neighbors to no end. He would frequently have loud gatherings that lasted until the early hours of the morning. Lin was described by one frustrated tenant as a menace. Distraught residents were concerned that over time, the entire building would collapse because of the rooftop penthouse. But not long after the home was completed, residents learned something about Lin that gave them a glimmer of hope. As it turned out, Lin never received the proper permits to build his monstrosity. He simply decided he wanted to do it. And he did. Apparently, city officials left him alone for all 6 years of the construction, simply assuming he had secured the permits. Once residents found out his construction project wasn't approved, they were ecstatic. They hoped the officials would crack down on Lin's excessive vanity project, especially since it did nothing but cause problems for the building's tenants. One city official responded to the complaint saying, "It's come to our attention that Professor Zhang did not apply for permission for this structure. So unless he can prove it's safe, it will have to come down." After thorough inspection from city officials, the home was in fact deemed incredibly unsafe, and Lin was forced to tear it down. The residents were thrilled at the outcome. Let's just hope Lin doesn't have any more dream homes to build in the near future. The residents of this building were lucky that Lin never got the required permits. Who knows what kind of problems the penthouse would have caused if it stayed.